In the state of Minnesota in the United States, and more specifically in the city of Wayzata, lies the headquarters of the biggest private company in the US. Previous US Agriculture Minister Robert Bergland said the following about this company.
Cargill probably has the best crop marketing intelligence available anywhere, and that includes the CIA.
This organization is primarily a food trading company, but it's not just any ordinary agricultural or food company. No, it's a full-blown empire with a massive intelligence network. So, what makes a food and agriculture company have one of the largest intelligence networks in the world? Why is the scale of its operations, which is estimated to be in hundreds of billions of dollars, is not precisely known? And how did this company manage to dominate the food industry, always staying a step ahead of its competitors? How could it survive for over 150 years? How could it make substantial profits during war times while other companies declare bankruptcy? And what is the connection between McDonald's, Burger King, and the disasters of this giant organization called Cargill?
That's what we will be answering in this video.
Revealing why Cargill is one of the most dangerous companies in the world.
My name is Bassem Fauzi, and this is World Economy.
So first off, what is Cargill? Many describe the period between 1870 to 1890 as the true start of the US Industrial Revolution. The United States needed one crucial element to fuel its ascent as the world's leading industrial country. That is energy. It required coal to power the machines that made finished goods and power the trains necessary to move these goods to their final destinations, and it needed food to sustain the workers who operated these machines. The problem with food is that most US farming land is concentrated in the Midwest area, far from the industrial centers on the East Coast. This created logistical challenges in transporting large quantities of food to feed the growing urban workforce, which was essential for maintaining industrial productivity. Railroads have always been there to solve the problem, but then there was the problem of storing and loading large quantities of grains. The first who could solve this problem would own the largest grains trading company in the Midwest area, if not in the entire USA. William Cargill founded Cargill Company, which specialized in grains trading in the Midwest area with a very small capital. The company was too small to buy large plots of land to use for warehousing grains, yet it had an innovative founder. William Cargill introduced the grain elevator, which enabled him to store grains across multiple stores, which multiplied the storage capacity of the company's warehouses. Additionally, he used a conveyor system to facilitate the loading of grain piles on trains. These two innovations together allowed the company to reduce the capital necessary to operate, reduce the labor cost necessary to load grains on trains, and increased the speed of loading grains on trains, which created a very powerful edge for Cargill over its competitors. Nowadays, Cargill operates in more than 70 countries and has over 800 offices, which participate in the food chain of more than half of the world population, with the help of an intelligence network that ensures that Cargill always stays ahead of its competitors. But how did Cargill reach such a gigantic size? Behind the success of Cargill lie many dark secrets. Cargill began its journey of expansion by diversifying its products, such as corn, cocoa, meat, and oils. But more importantly, the company also took advantage of legal loopholes and weak regulations. When it comes to exploiting legal loopholes, let me give you a simple example. In the stock market, law dictates that executives of publicly traded companies are prohibited from trading their own company's stocks because they have access to information not available to other traders. However, in the commodities and raw materials market like grains and wheat, it's a completely different story. That rule simply doesn't exist, and there are no restrictions preventing producers, like Cargill for example, from speculating on the prices of the very products they trade in the markets. So, you could say they operate with complete freedom, seizing any available opportunity to make significant profits. For example, in May 1963, Cargill contracted to purchase 62% of the wheat available in the US market. At this point, the US government accused the company of monopolizing the trade of this commodity because the amount of wheat available for delivery from sources other than Cargill was insufficient to meet market demand. This allowed Cargill to control the market, as the only wheat available for delivery was primarily owned by Cargill, putting the company in a position to demand higher prices. And they did. As a result, Cargill was able to raise the price of wheat from $2.09 per bushel on May 17, 1963 to $2.28 per bushel on May 21, 1963. You might be thinking, what's the big deal about an 18-cent difference? But keep in mind that at that time, Cargill was trading 2 million bushels. This means that in just 4 days, they managed to profit $360,000 through this artificial price manipulation, which in today's value equals $3.5 million. This is how much Cargill could make by manipulating the market of just one commodity for 4 days only. Cargill didn't just exploit legislative loopholes to rise to power, it also grew strategically through well-planned acquisitions by carefully selecting companies that aligned with its long-term goals. But with such a powerful presence in the market, it raises the question, why doesn't Cargill disclose its financial data? The unique thing about Cargill is that it's a privately owned company, controlled by a family of 14 individuals, each of whom is worth billions of dollars. Since the company isn't publicly traded, it isn't required to disclose its financial details, making it one of the most secretive companies in the world. Cargill keeps all its operations and profits private, which adds to the mystery surrounding it and makes everything about the company intriguing and secretive. What adds another layer to this secrecy is how Cargill maintains such a powerful and dominant position in the market. Many people have always wondered how Cargill seems to know about the significant market events before they even happen, and how it can predict when the prices of certain products will rise or fall. Maybe they have got a crystal ball in the boardroom, or maybe just really good Wi-Fi. Actually, neither of this is true. Cargill's success stems from a dedicated team that works around the clock, gathering market intelligence to stay ahead of its competitors. In 2013, their foresight of a corn crisis due to a severe US drought allowed them to make a highly profitable deal, capitalizing on a global supply shortage before others recognized the severity of the situation.
In this example, Cargill's intelligence network was able to detect the crisis before any of its competitors.
As a result, the company acted immediately, purchasing large quantities of corn at low prices before the market was affected by the crisis. Cargill capitalized on the corn shortage by selling corn, which was earlier purchased at low prices, at higher prices when the prices surged, leading to a significant profit and a fourfold increase in earnings that year. Cargill's success isn't just about profits, but its ability to overcome challenges. In 2007, the company faced a crisis when E. coli was found in its meat products, leading to the recall of 845,000 pounds of ground beef. This raised health concerns and damaged its reputation, but Cargill turned this setback into an opportunity for growth by improving its food safety measures. Speaking of meat, Cargill is a key supplier of McDonald's, providing not only chicken and beef, but also preparing and freezing McDonald's burger patties and McNuggets. This partnership plays a vital role in McDonald's global operations, ensuring a steady meat supply. Burger King is another important client of Cargill, which has pressured the company to stop its deforestation practices used for cattle feed farms. Imagine if a batch of E. coli contaminated meat had been distributed to McDonald's and Burger King. It could have been a health disaster, affecting many regions. Thankfully, this scenario hasn't happened yet.
What truly sets Cargill apart is its exceptional ability to not only sustain, but often boost its profitability during times of war and crisis.
Unlike many companies that merely strive to survive such periods, Cargill frequently capitalizes on the disruption to grow its profits. But how does it manage to do this? At the start of the Russian-Ukrainian war in 2022, Cargill took advantage of the increased demand for food and raw materials caused by the conflict. This led the company to record its highest revenue ever, with a $30 billion boost compared to 2021. One of the key reasons for Cargill's revenue growth during this period was that it was among the few companies that continued operations in both Russia and Ukraine after the Russian invasion. This wasn't the only time when Cargill used war times to make substantial profits. In World War I, the company faced its first major scandal when it was accused of profiting from the war. Cargill was alleged to have capitalized on the increased demand for essential products like food and raw materials, making gains at the expense of people caught in the conflict. Rather than aiding those affected by the war, the company was perceived as exploiting the crisis for financial profit. Cargill was accused of buying products and raw materials at low prices, particularly in areas heavily affected by the war, and then selling them at much higher prices in other regions. Cargill was widely viewed as unethically profiting from the suffering caused by the war, prioritizing financial gain over efforts to alleviate the crisis. This practice contributed to the belief that Cargill was prioritizing profits over ethics. When a severe drought hit the US in the late 1930s, turning green pastures into dust-filled barren lands, Cargill found itself in another major crisis. The Chicago Board of Trade suspended the company's membership, accusing it of attempting to monopolize the market. Cargill had contracted to buy large amounts of corn. This raised concerns that Cargill was manipulating the market to control corn prices, potentially destabilizing the market balance. Cargill profits from global crises, but also contributes to environmental issues such as deforestation and peak land farming. In 2019, a report from Mighty Earth revealed Cargill's role in deforestation, particularly in the Amazon area, and its exploitation of young labor. The company's operation in South America, focused on soy and beef production, have caused significant environmental destructions. By the way, many climate experts confirm that deforestation is one of the major reasons for global warming. So, now you know whom to blame for the heat wave in the last summer. In Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana, Cargill has been accused of buying cocoa grown illegally in protected areas, often linked to child labor. These practices have led to boycotts, with many consumers criticizing the company for prioritizing profits over ethics. Today we talked about a company believed to control the global food trade. That's Cargill. However, many other companies dominate different industries worldwide, often with as much, if not more, power than Cargill. One notable example is BlackRock, a financial giant that manages assets equivalent to about a quarter of the global GDP. So if you are interested in knowing how BlackRock holds such significant control over the global economy, check out the link that will show up right here. Finally, all of what we mentioned earlier made many believe that Cargill doesn't just sell food, it controls the movement of food across the entire world. But what do you personally think? Do you think that a company like Cargill, with such an extensive intelligence network, controls what we eat? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to learn more about the secrets of major corporations that hold the world's economy in their hands.